Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle Sports and Gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Nightwing News. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this time we'll be discussing Justice League Task Force number 1, 2, and 3. Featuring Mr. Richard Grayson, Mr. Wallace West, and some more.
And Mr. Jones, or however you're supposed to say
John
that.
Jones. Yeah, I know, yes. Mr. Arthur Curry, Aquaman.
Oh, I meant to look her up. Do you know much about... I don't even want to say her name because it's a slur now, but...
Gypsy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, has she been
I mean, she kind of was created in the 80s. It was when the Justice League was like in Detroit for a while, and yeah, and like there, and then like I guess in Justice League Task Force, like which would have like a rotating like members for a while, I guess, but like for the most part, I think the two mainstays were John Jones and yeah, he was kind of mentoring her, yeah.
Got it.
Because I can't remember if they had her like any older than this, but like when she first appeared, I think she was a teenager. So
She seemed older than a teenager, but sometimes it's hard to tell. Honestly, I think in the 90s, this art style in the 90s makes everybody look older.
Yeah, but again, yeah, she was a teenager in the 80s, so this was the 90s. So I don't know if they let her like age up a little bit. So
It's probably like in her 20s.
But yes. So all right. Well, when this hits the podcast, this will be the first episode of the new year. So happy New Year, everyone.
Have a swinging and groovy 2023.
Although we're still recording this in December, so yes, Kristen was quite displeased when she found out there was no new Titans this week.
Sad.
I know.
Now I have like, more time. See, I bet what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be on break, and then Titans is gonna start up right when I have to go back to school. I'll be like, thanks a lot.
I don't think they did that in the other season, did they? Where they did half.
No, this is the first season they've had a break.
I don't know if they did that just because it's close to the holidays or what, but
yeah, but who knows? Maybe they're trying something new. Haven't they done that sometimes with Young Justice? They had a break.
I think
even
so.
When they were streaming it.
I think so. Yeah, it's like they took a break, but then Doom Patrol's on, so I don't know.
Right, and it feels too soon to take a break. Although I guess it is halfway through the season, but season
it is. Yeah, I think it is like exactly half. Yeah, but I'm like, that's like network TV. Why are they taking a break in the middle of the season?
Right, it's on streaming.
HBO Max. Heck, people complain when they're like, oh, they want it to be like Netflix. They want like drop every episode at once.
Yeah. But I think, they don't do that. I think they don't want to do that because if you drop every episode at once, somebody could definitely make up an email address, get a free weekly trial, binge it, and then be done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Again, weird. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, no new Nightwing news, comic news yet. I don't think. Yeah, no.
I think it's all next week that the stuff comes out.
Well, yeah, next week's the big week, yeah, with 99 and Dark Crisis number 7, and I believe, the first of that
Urban
Batman
Legends.
Urban Legends. Yeah, the first part comes out. Yeah, so.
I think that is correct.
All right, so should we talk Justice League Task Force?
Let's do it.
Number one. Of course, we're gonna start with number one.
So, Phil, is there any sort of background you want to, since you know more? Is there any background you want to give us about Justice League Task Force? I mean, obviously, we read the first issue.
Yeah. I don't know. It was probably like an answer to I think was it around this time? I think Marvel was doing Secret Defenders, where basically Doctor Strange would get a different team together like every issue or every couple issues. Like Spider-Man might be in one time. Next time it might be Ghost Rider or something. Yeah. So I don't know if this
It's
was
almost like a Brave and the Bold. But Brave and the Bold was a team up. Of course, then it became Batman. Which aren't they? Didn't they say they're going to restart that or something?
They might. I'm trying to remember. They might be doing a Batman team up. I'm not sure. I thought I heard something about that, but
it's too bad because I think you brought it up, and I remember reading it somewhere on the internet, but that doesn't really narrow it down. Somebody's saying Brave and the Bold should be if you're going to use a bat, it should be a Nightwing book, and I was like, oh man, that'd be genius.
Yes. I think I've had that thought. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Give it a totally different vibe, a more friendly vibe.
I mean, Nightwing would make more sense because Batman. I mean, especially these days, because I mean, Brave and the Bold, that was pre-crisis. Now if Batman teams up with anyone every month, it would just be like, "Don't get in my way."
Are you a meta? Get out of my city.
Exactly. So yeah, this one. You know what? I can't even see if there's a synopsis, but yes, much political intrigue, and I guess the government's coming to John Jones to form this elite task force.
Yeah, it feels really random, but at the same time, it also feels. I mean, I realize this is from the '90s, but it also feels very '80s.
It just seems very weird though, because they're like, oh well, it'd be too public for the Justice League to go in, but hey, let's send in Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Aquaman, who everyone knows has been affiliated with the Justice League.
Also, it says they wanted Batman, but Batman didn't answer the call, and Alfred told Nightwing about it. So, the Batman is also in the Justice League.
Well, again, too, I wonder this is close to. Well, this might be happening during Nightfall, so that's another reason Bruce might not have answered, because issue 5 and 6 of this, Denny O'Neil wrote those, and that's it takes place in Santa Prisca. Bruce is already in the wheelchair after Bane breaks his back.
It does say at the end of 3, next Nightfall.
Yeah, they must have got that wrong, because there's like 4 is like a one and done issue, which they're not in. But yeah, 5 and 6 is the Bruce and Bruce and Alfred, and like they get help from Gypsy shows up, but there's a bunch of different members, like Green Arrow shows up and stuff. But
although it says it was Titans 97 where he gets that from Alfred, so this is also kind of around the end of when it's like.
Did we read 97? I don't remember.
Yeah, was it when he called Alfred to tell him about the wedding?
Oh, maybe. It's been a while. I can't remember.
This is around the time of the wedding.
I thought he just told. I was gonna say I thought he told him about Bruce getting hurt, but
right. I'm wondering if he didn't actually tell him. It's just he called him, and they were like, "Oh, we can make this make sense because he called Alfred."
Unless that's just Nightwing shows up, so people aren't questioning. Oh, why didn't Batman show up?
Right. Well, then he says thanks, Alfred, in his thoughts. So it's like Alfred. Yeah. Anyway, okay, it's cool. It's cool the splash page when he comes in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude, Nightwing. But then, and then of course I'm my own man now. Like, oh my god, he's been saying that for like a decade.
I know. What's that one line? Is it Aquaman maybe, or is it Martian Manhunter? At the one of them's like, oh yeah, he has a reputation for showboating. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Martian Manhunter says he does have a reputation for grandstanding. And I was like,
Grandstanding, yes.
what?
I mean, I guess it for sake of the plot, but I'm just like, that seems out of place.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt the thing felt kind of awkward. I mean, I don't really know these characters that well aside from Nightwing and a little bit Wally, but
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't really feel quite right.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of just fitting things in for the plot. And again, yeah, Martian Manhunter, you wouldn't that's the again, wouldn't say that about Nightwing, but it just I don't know.
Also, I mean, aside from Gypsy, it's like Martian Manhunter. Well, I kind of forget with Martian Manhunter, but with Aquaman, like they've known Dick since he was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
So
a
it's like, as a Titan, his loyalty isn't with us. How do we know he'll fit in? I mean, at least it made sense when Wally's like, "Oh, come on, guys."
yeah, I know. I know that's again so weird.
Yeah, it's like you act like you don't know him, and you clearly do.
Okay, oh, I have a synopsis. You want the synopsis?
Yeah, what do they say?
All right. In Montreal, the Martian Manhunter stops a group of ethnic terrorists trying to export weapons alongside toys. On Sanibel Island in the Caribbean, a group of Latin American guerrillas meet with a mysterious arms dealer whose new technology is it says is a mammoth who displays how devastating it is by blowing up a field. That makes no sense. They are looking to overthrow the dictator Enrique Ramos, but the arms dealer has ulterior motives. This weaponry will destroy organic material but leaves machinery and structures intact. They briefly encounter government forces and kill them easily. Meanwhile, Pentagon official Hannibal Martin gets the news that he is not going to be the American ambassador to France, but instead will spearhead a United Nations covert operations unit working with the Justice League International. Their mission is to protect Ramos in spite of his crimes against humanity. He is sent to the Martian Manhunter's New York apartment to invite him to join. 2 days later, they travel to London to meet with Justice League Europe. After they fight off a giant rodent in the sewers, an electronic communique from Martian Manhunter invites Aquaman and the Flash to join. The next day, Gypsy is shopping in New York City where the Manhunter invites her as well. The heroes assemble in the United Nations building where Martin is about to make his pitch and Nightwing appears, having been tipped off by Alfred. He offers his aid and Martin accepts over the other operatives' objections. So yeah, that's about it.
I mean, that is pretty thorough. But yeah, that was another thing that I didn't like was they call her Gypsy, and then the first thing we see her doing in here, she's like, "I'm gonna steal something." I'm like, "Oh my god, way to just play into terrible stereotypes."
Yeah, that is not good. But I don't know if she's homeless because I know I think early, with some of her first appearances, I don't know if she like ran away from home or something. So
I mean, it's not that. It's just I understand it was the '90s, so I get why it's done, but it just looks really. It's
yeah.
no, just no. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But whatever. Also, I feel like the art is weird in this.
It is some very 90s art here.
Yeah, everybody likes.
Let me see. Oh, Sal Violetto. Yeah, not bad art, but yeah, he has a very distinct style there. And written by David Michelinie, who's written for DC and Marvel. So
The second one a different artist? Because I'm just noticing now that Gypsy is pink in the second one. Possibly in the third one as well.
Let me see. Unless, let me look. Because it could be a different artist or a different like colorist even.
Yeah, because it actually looks like she kind of goes back and forth. All right, why don't you give us a synopsis for number 2, Phil?
Okay.
Because I feel like that Nightwing only pops in at the end of number 1. So
yeah, I love that
Yeah.
entrance. That you get a splash page. You got his foot up on the glass coffee table.
Yeah.
All right. Justice League Task Force number 2. Oh yeah, these are all from 1993, kids. So like I said, it's around Nightfall. The Justice League Task Force is briefed by Hannibal Martin to intervene on Sandoval Island. They will have to defend the dictator Enrique Ramos against some freedom-fighting guerrillas who have acquired vastly superior weaponry from an arms trader. The heroes use stealth to invade the island and try to locate the Mammoth Death Ray. They discover it moments before the fighters become desperate and hit the switch to vaporize any living thing in its cannon's line of sight. But yeah, no. So that Hannibal Martin sends them in is basically like, oh, we have to keep, got to stay friendly, I guess, with the government down there or whatever. So
Yeah.
So yes, lots of covert ops here.
So in terms of Nightwing stuff, since that's our main deal, I thought it was both funny and also a little bit irritating since this is right around the time he's trying to get married.
Yeah, that is.
That Wally is definitely hitting on Gypsy, and she's like, "Food and company sounds great, Wally. Tell you what, we'll discuss it when Nightwing and I get back from dinner." It's like I realize that you can go totally platonically to dinner with someone, but the way they're setting it up, how Wally clearly it seems like he's trying to hit on her. They're trying to make it sound like, haha,
yeah, I was gonna
Dick beat you to it. And I'm like, what the heck? He's about to get married to go to
I know.
party.
I think it's more just like Dick saying, "Oh, sorry, buddy," just basically giving Wally a hard time.
I know. Also, doesn't Wally's hair look blonde? I mean, not as blonde as Aquaman's, but it doesn't really look red.
Yeah, that's a colorist thing. Yeah, sometimes they did that. It was more like orange than like red. But yeah, no, even like the whole thing with Wally hitting on Gypsy, it's like he's with Linda.
Is he with Linda at this point? Yeah. So it's like, why are you like this?
Well, I think in some of the Justice League books they had him like that, even though meanwhile he's dating Linda. But
yeah, I mean that doesn't sadly totally surprise me because we know from more our time period that they do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember we were talking to Devin once, or she said it somewhere. I forget now. But yeah, at the same time that she was having Dick very seriously dating Barbara was also when the Outsiders book was happening, and they were having Dick and Corey have sex in the Outsiders book. And she was like, no, he's not. He's dating a completely different person in my book. And they were like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. And again, if they said something about Titans 97, I'm like, wasn't he in the like starting to have his like nervous breakdown? He was pretty calm in these issues.
Yes.
I mean, they really could have had him acting nuts, but luckily they didn't.
Yeah, so definitely there's a lot of stuff that's inconsistent. And I mean, I guess I'm not quite sure how to feel about that. I mean, on the one hand, I guess I get it because people might not be reading the same things, but it's also weird. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't mind. Yeah, that I don't mind, but I feel like I would be more annoyed, with that thing you're bringing up with Wally, where he's, very serious with Linda in his own book, but then he's being totally flirtatious in Justice League. That's the kind of thing that annoys fans because it feels very wrong for the character and very inconsistent. But on the other hand, if Dick is going through a tough time in Titans, but in this book, they just want him to come in and be the detective and leave kind of thing, like that's okay. That doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah.
Or like how he's doing, the world is ending in Dark Crisis, but in Nightwing, it's not. Like that's okay.
Oh well, Dark Crisis. Most of the regular monthly books are ignoring that.
Right, yeah. So,
but what about when that Hannibal Martin's like, oh, you guys got to split up into like two teams, and Dick's like, okay, Aquaman hits the coast, and Martian Manhunter should go here, and then Martian Manhunter gets all upset. He's like, no, you're not the leader. And he's like, I am the leader.
he's like, okay, but Nick's nice about it. He's like, oh, sure, gotcha.
I know.
And Martin, he's so tedious. Martian Manhunter's like, I don't like the idea of splitting up. And he's like, well, I don't like paying taxes. You got to do it. Like, that's so annoying.
Well, yeah. Well, there's history of that too in DC and Marvel, just like teams with like, if you have like a government guy, it's always like a jerk.
Well, right, I know.
But again, I mean, the whole plot, the whole premise of the story is kind of flimsy because it's like, one, not only is Martian Manhunter like as strong as Superman, and he's a shapeshifter. He could walk up to that thing, that weapon, as disguised as anybody, and just like,
right, yeah. When it's just like, oh, this is the person that's gonna do it. Pretend to be that guy and go shut it down or something. Yeah.
And if he needs any kind of password to get in anywhere, he's a telepath too. I mean, he can. Yeah. Yeah, the whole premise.
Yeah, that's true. This actually is kind of more of a mess than I originally thought, because they're kind of not really using Martian Manhunter to.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, he could do this whole thing on his own. He doesn't need any help.
Oh yeah, he could have it done in 2 seconds. I mean, you see on the what page is that, 16? I mean, he can like be invisible and stuff. So it's
right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's nice that he's working with.
Oh yeah.
But all right, so they let Nightwing, change the system. The security system. I guess he does like the 90s version of hacking.
Oh yes. Computer.
It's like stuff. Yes. And then, of course, he's fighting that guy. Justice League wanted Batman for this gig. Gotta prove I'm no second stringer.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know. It's the 90s. I mean, the Titans have been off in their little corner somewhat, but I'm like, does anyone think Nightwing's a second stringer?
I mean, probably some of the people reading this stuff. Who knows?
But yeah, like I said, at the end, they turn on that machine, and it's like, oh no. Okay, that's weird. All right. Well, I don't know if they're gonna like start putting like Justice League Task Force out at like the a trade paperback of it, because they're like, oh, you can read it now if you like upgrade or something. But I'm like, all the single issues are on the app. Why would I spend extra to read the trade when I can?
Oh yeah, I got that too. After number 2, they were like, oh, the next thing is on Ultra, but it wasn't number 3. It was something else.
Yeah, I think I think it's like they must be collecting it in a trade paperback or something. But I'm just like, oh, why would I upgrade for that when I can just read the single? Because I think every single issue is in, on the app now for free. So I'm like, why would I do that?
No. That was kind of weird. I will say, are you ready for number 3?
Yes. All right.
I will say the cover's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's like issue 1, they don't show it on the app, but I have issue 1. It's like a wraparound cover. Like I think I forget who's not on the front, but I think like Dick and maybe like Aquaman or somebody's on the back of the book. But I'm like, why wouldn't they just show the whole cover?
Maybe that's too much word for them.
Maybe. All right.
But anyway, this number 3 was a cool cover.
Yes. Well, yeah, we get Dick on there. Justice League Task Force number 3. Twisted Glass. The covert strike team, Justice League Task Force, has been assembled to stop guerrilla warriors on Sanibel Island, but they arrived too late to stop them from firing a death ray that will vaporize any living beings in the capital. Unbeknownst to the rebels, arms dealer Jeremy Glass has rigged the machine to be far more lethal and indiscriminate than they realized. The Flash narrowly manages to save Gypsy and one of the rebels from the Capitol, and they regroup with their teammates who make short work of Glass's bodyguard, Blitz, before debriefing with their United Nations contact, Hannibal Martin. Martin is upset that the Leaguers couldn't destroy the weapon, but Nightwing defends their decision to flee in order to save team members' lives. The Freedom Fighters attempt to use their death ray cannon to kill the dictator on Sanibel, and in the fighting, he is killed by conventional gunfire, and the leaders of the militia are greeted by the people as liberators. The weapon is destroyed, a dictator toppled, and American interests in Latin America have been maintained, but the heroes have a bittersweet victory with all of the bloodshed they have seen. They return to the United Nations building, and Martin reveals that he manipulated the Leaguers using their personal convictions and some odds playing to assure that the weapon would be destroyed without direct American involvement. The Flash and Nightwing storm out disgusted. At the Pentagon, Martin's superiors are so pleased by his performance, they decide to make the Justice League Task Force program ongoing with him as their head. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the Nightwing was the big one where he was just like, "Oh yeah, I put you on the team because I knew you wouldn't kill." So
Yeah, which was weird to me because I felt like I didn't think that Wally killed either.
yeah, I don't think most of them would have, if they would kill, maybe as a last resort, some of them. But I'm just like, that wasn't going to be any of their first moves.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess since they wanted Batman and knowing he's a bat, yeah, okay, but
Or
yeah.
he doesn't kill, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. I thought it was, it was nice. I was like, yeah, because it was a good Nightwing moment. But it also was like, really? I feel like almost any of the people in this task force from the Justice League would not kill.
Yeah, Wally's not a killer.
Right.
But yeah, you can tell like some of these first issues, yeah, they had bad presence because, like I said, these first 3 Nightwings in, then 5 and 6, yeah, Bruce and Alfred go when like Tim's father and Bruce's doctor get kidnapped, so Bruce and Alfred go to Santa Prisca to try to find them, and like Gypsy and Green Arrow and Bronze Tiger get sent to help them, and it's so.
So is Tim in it, or are they going off looking for his dad without him?
Well, no, yeah, no. I mean, they call Tim's still in Gotham watching Azrael because he's a nut. But no, it's so funny because like Bruce like wants them to kind of assume he's Batman and not Bruce Wayne. So Bruce Wayne, sitting there as Bruce Wayne, puts on like latex disguise to make himself look like Bruce Wayne.
What?
Just so like all the Justice League members are just like, oh well, that guy's disguised as Bruce Wayne, so that can't be Bruce Wayne.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, because those two are written by Denny O'Neil. It's you might like it because Alfred's his usual sarcastic self.
Yeah, I mean, if Alfred's in it, I might check it out. Well, I mean, and honestly, now I'm intrigued because that does sound ridiculous and hilarious and super Batman. Like, I'm gonna slap some latex on my face so that I'm pretty sure he's done that in the past as well, like back in the golden or silver age when it was like, oh, so many issues where are they gonna find out our secret identities? He's like, I'm gonna make myself look like Bruce Wayne with makeup so people will think it's fake.
Yeah, and I mean it's interesting just because it's like, Bruce. It's like right after Bane breaks his back, so like he can't just get out of the chair. So it's like Bruce Wayne can't just get up and beat people up. So, but yeah, I think it is Alfred who's like, there is a reason you're disguising yourself as yourself, right? He's just like, yeah, so he's like they're not stupid. He's like, well, they'll assume I borrowed Bruce Wayne's identity. He's like, maybe they'll think I'm Batman. That's fine. Yeah.
And whatever.
I know.
Anyway, but yeah, apparently the person who wrote this does think that they do get Nightwing showboating a little bit. Where he's like, I'm outraged. The media will hear this. He's like, get the name right. It's Nightwing without a K. But also a little funny because it's kind of a distraction.
I wonder if they just threw him in here because he's like a popular character, or if like, I mean, again, this is around Nightfall, so, or I assume talks already in the works since we're getting close to issue 100 of Titans, where it's like, oh yeah, he's going to be like, going back to the bad book, so let's get his name out there even more.
Yeah, it could be.
Or the writers might like him. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that just struck me as odd, where it's just like, oh hey, we don't want a team associated with the Justice League, but like everybody but Nightwing's been on the Justice League before.
Yeah. Oh well.
So many plots.
I guess they think if it doesn't have Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, it doesn't seem like the Justice League. It does crack me up though when Dick and Wally are talking, and Dick describes Count Glass as Eurotrash.
I know. I guess they didn't have a lot of time in these, because of the plot and all the characters. But I'm just like, it would have been nice to have some more Dick and Wally moments. Even just like throw it out a line like, oh, this isn't the old Titan days, is it? Oh no.
Yeah, because Wally speaks up for him, but yeah, you kind of have to know to understand why that it makes extra sense why he's doing that. He's not just doing that. But I think this might have still been before they were really committed to Dick and Wally being best friends, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they were on it was still canon. They were on the Titans at the same time.
I know.
Heck, not even the original, the original, and then the new Titans in the 80s. Wally was there for a while. Remember, they quit at the same time.
No, I remember.
Kristen's like, I remember. I read that every 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
Not every 2 weeks, but
no, I'm exaggerating.
Slightly. All right, yeah. Then Nightwing's like, if you wanted someone to kill, you picked the wrong hero.
It's like, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised, when they figure out that when Nightwing figures out that Martin put him on the team and all that. I was waiting for a line like, "Oh, you're a master manipulator. You could give Batman lessons or something." I was waiting for something like that.
No, he's mad at this guy. He would never compare him to Batman.
I know, but he's kind of mad at Bruce at this point because, I believe Bruce has already picked Jean Paul Valley to replace him. So,
no, I don't know if he knows yet. Does he?
Well, I know if he does. Tim tells him in Batman 500. Let me see, what's Batman 500? Because Dick shows up and he's like, and Tim tells him, Dick, Bruce is gone, which you see the first part of that, and that's Justice League Task Force issues, and Dick's like, well, the Batman's in the news, and that's when, oh yeah, no, this is a few months before Batman. Okay, so yeah, maybe he hasn't picked his replacement yet, but yeah, lots of stuff going on. Nightfall happening, this happening, Superman coming back from the dead. Yeah, 93 was busy.
93 is a big year, indeed.
All right. So yeah, again, for a whole group thing, and especially a Justice League book, I think Dick got more time than I thought he would get in this story.
I would say. Well, wait, we didn't talk about. So yeah, he sees the dude running. He's like, it's too far away, so he's using the gun, but he's like trying to shoot him, like shoot to like move him in the right direction. And he's like, no, I can't kill him. And then somehow the guy, he shoots the machine.
Mm-hmm.
That Ramos shoots and it blows up and takes him with it. And it seems like, does maybe John know that that's going to happen? Because he's like, don't be hard on yourself. Things have a way of working out.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew it was going to happen or if that's just like an ironic comment, and then it has, then things do take care of themselves. I don't know.
Right. But that's why it's like also, It feels like he'd say, "Of course." So it's like, yeah, you're all legit. Like, you don't kill. I feel like it doesn't even. So that is a little bit weird about this.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Anything else on this?
Nope.
All right.
I mean, it was pretty good aside from some of the weirdnesses where it seems like they didn't really know the characters.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was pretty good. I mean, I usually like this writer's stuff, but yeah, I mean, considering that they were trying to make Dick, it's like, oh yeah, he's the grandstander. I mean, it wasn't that bad. We've read worse '90s stuff.
For sure.
All right, so yeah, next week, yes, not only were we going to cover the news stuff, but we're also going to cover Futures End Grayson #1 that hinted at a possible future for Dick and Helena.
It's weird how they called it #1. I mean, they never wrote another one.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that month everything was like Futures End whatever #1. Yeah, it was like Futures End Superman #1, and yeah. I think.
I mean, I guess even if it's a one shot, they give it a number.
I think they just feel the need.
Because that's their deal.
They feel the need to slap a number on it. Yeah.
As one does.
Yes. And then I think we already said this, but yeah, the last 2 weeks of the month we're gonna split up Joker's Last Laugh. So yes, the last 2 weeks we'll be covering Joker's Last Laugh, which if you're looking for more Joker's Last Laugh, yes, Will and I will be covering the Green Lantern issue on Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. So
there's a Green Lantern issue for Joker's Last Laugh.
Oh, I think they gave every book that month or so the Joker's Last Laugh. Yeah, because it would be like somebody's villain got Jokerized. Yeah. Oh yeah, because the Green Lantern one's nuts because Graven, who's like another son of Darkseid, gets Jokerized.
Interesting.
Yes. All right. Oh yeah, that was a big event. It's the Joker. All right, kids. So yeah, so send us all your thoughts. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And I've been trying to throw this out more on all the other shows. Like if you don't get the feedback in time, like for the Justice League issues, you can still send it in. I mean, we'll read it like a week from now, 2 weeks from now, whenever. You know, be like, hey, remember we covered these 3 weeks ago? Well, here's what so and so thought. So send in feedback. I don't care if it's timely or not. All right. So yeah, send all the feedback. Follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Nightwing Facebook fan group. Find links to all the various social medias for all the shows we do. Links to the YouTube channel. Once again, everything we do gets a video. So smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a moment of any of it.
Smash it.
And of course, the Patreon. Most importantly, we are paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps. But $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And thank goodness superhero movie brackets are over, but you can listen to the whole thing now. And not only we have some surprises coming in 2023, but all the patrons. So if you do sign up and become a patron, you can suggest what we do in 2023. So. And please, we're looking for some more women to join us because right now it's all, I don't know if I want to call them men, but it's all boys right now. So we need some women in our Patreon. So please, we don't discriminate. We'll take anyone's money. So yes, please sign up for the Patreon. And speaking of not discriminating with your money, yes, buy some Capes and Lunatics, Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Come on, ladies. It's
not just for boys.
Yeah, come on. All right.
Who said that? Who's that from?
Noel Tate. You don't know Noel Tate, podcaster.
No, I don't.
Talks about Howard the Duck. All right. Proud member of the collective. All right. So yes, find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And again, if you're still all you rich people, if you're still looking for ways to spend your money, you cannot find a better way to spend your money than to buy Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder, especially if you're a fan of this show. Again, you've learned all the secrets of Dick Grayson. put together by his number one fangirl. Come on. You assembled a team of people to write a book about.
And I assembled my own Titans.
You're up there. I mean, you're exactly. All right, so thank you, everyone, and yes, thank you for joining us. In 1 week, we'll be talking Future's End, Grayson #1, and some of the new stuff, at least Nightwing 99. But like I said, if I have to, I want to get some Dark Crisis. I want to see what I think Dick's going to be the big hero. Got him all big on the cover.
I mean, the regular cover is him like, oh.
Exactly, yeah. Like, he's like, yeah, like floating and glowing, yes. And I mean, Superman's going to come to him in January and say, oh, hey, man, you got to lead the, like, the #1 team.
New Year's resolution, new Justice League. You're leading.
New team, who dis?
I have a proposition for you to have a swinging and groovy New Year.
Oh, nice.
It'll be so diggity-dang.
All right, kids, make it a good year. Remember to join us always, same wing time.
Same wing channel.
See Nightwing News.